Hey y'all, welcome to Culture Cult. My name is Marie. I am the host of the show. And this is a show where we are trying to learn about every country in the world so we can all become less ignorant and just learn about each other. We are currently covering the country of Guyana. Hint, hint, it is not in Africa. That is Ghana. This is the South American country that's like one of the only, if the only, country that speaks English in South America as its main language. Fun fact for you also. But yeah, today we are covering Guyana. This is the third of the series. We have on fan favorite and my best friend Kyle. We're going to have it kind of a Indiana Jones jungle animals episode. So this is for you if you love Animal Planet and Indiana Jones. This country is for you in general. This place is freaking wild. Like, one of the craziest animals I've ever heard of. So there's just so much to cover in this country between the geography and all the animals. And it's just a country that's not very known. So yeah, let's get into it.
Oh my God, hi.
Oh my God, hi.
What's going on there,
I'm in
hi friend?
fucking Thailand.
That's pretty cool.
It is. It's beautiful here. I feel like a mermaid here. There's like, the beach is so close and there's a pool and like flowers and butterflies.
Well, if you were a mermaid, you'd be under the sea and there'd be none of that.
Yeah,
so
true.
maybe you feel like a land maid or something.
Just a maid. I want to start off with one fun question to get to know Kyle. What is something in the world or the universe that you just don't understand? Like for me, not for you. I personally don't understand how bridges work. I don't understand how someone can build a bridge. I've been explained it many times. But other people, it could be like how deep the ocean is or how like more things that are actually more mysterious. But for me, it's bridges.
It's so funny you say that because I was actually watching a YouTube video about how they built the San Francisco Bridge.
Oh.
Because it's fascinating. And you should definitely look it up because that's basically how they build the bridges and how they like measure the depths of the oceans and stuff. The one thing that has always been a mystery to me is the universe itself. And anyone who tells you different is trying to sell you something.
Okay. What confuses you about it?
What pushes it forward? What even creates the situation that we're in? You know, there's all these different strings being pulled. All like while we're having this conversation right now, there's a million, gazillion, bazillion things happening in the world right now.
Whoa.
And even in the universe, if you think on a grander scale, right? So what is pushing that all forward? What is making these ships in the night collide, and how do that cosmic force that drives everything forward? I've never been able to understand that. And people say it's like religion, and that's our way of understanding that, and that's obviously awesome. I'm totally behind that. I'm just always like, it's kind of like the mystery of the universe, I guess.
But are we supposed to understand it? I think maybe there's a reason why our brain isn't like that expansive. Like, I don't think we're supposed to.
I think that we innately understand it, but to put it in words is something that I feel like we haven't figured out how to do yet.
Yeah.
It's like it's in you because you're part of the universe.
True.
But you also can't innately say it.
Well, it's kind of like we're just ants. It's just how ants are like, they know they're alive, I think. I don't know if they have a consciousness, but like they don't even realize how huge the world is, considering or how big the universe is, and they're this big. That's how we are,
right?
Like we're just ants.
Do you think ants are super philosophical about like that?
I think so. How would we know? We don't speak their language.
I know. I mean, they're very eusocial, so
they are
clearly up to something.
Hardworking. They are so hardworking. I kind of like to watch ants. I don't know. I find them fascinating, and like the amount of power they have together as a force, and like they have like systems, and they build these massive homes that we step on. I don't know. That's another thing. I'm now fascinated into ants. That's another curiosity in the world. I like ants.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if you are ever into just instant fascination, check out anything insect world. It is insane what goes on there.
I think everyone's always thinking expansive. They're always looking like so big. Like when we see mountains, everyone's looking so big out this way, or we're thinking about the universe. But people don't look at the microcosms or like the micro world that's happening either. Like,
well, it's harder to see, to be fair. A mountain's a lot easier to see.
Yeah.
And I feel like as humans in general, we do have a fascination with gigantism, like dinosaurs, Yeah, I
Whales.
do. Blue whales.
Ugh.
Yeah. Did you know that you could hear a heartbeat of a blue whale from a mile away? Like just
How?
to put in perspective of how huge they are.
I can hear it?
You can hear, listen right now, you're a mermaid. Aren't you supposed to be like
Yeah.
attuned to these kind of things?
I know, right? I'm a landmaid, actually. Wait, but how would I know what that sounds like?
You would feel it.
What?
Yeah, you should look it up.
Okay, I'm gonna look that one up because I'm like, what in the world? I, yeah, I do agree with the giganticism thing. I'm obsessed with feeling small. I think it like gives me the heebie-jeebies. I think that's why I like whales.
I just looked it up. Can you hear a blue whale's heart from a mile away? And the answer I just looked up on Google is yes, a blue whale's heartbeat can be heard from over 2 miles away.
What?
A blue whale's heart is the largest in the world, weighing 400 pounds and measuring 5 feet long, 4 feet wide, 5 feet high.
Wait, that's me.
That's basically you.
I'm
So you
400.
are the size of a blue. You are a blue heart's. Oh my gosh! And you're wearing a blue
Oh
top.
my
Did
God,
you freaking plan
stop. I'm
this?
gonna cry.
You're wearing a blue ring. Oh
Oh,
my gosh! Maybe you are a blue whale's heart.
wait, I love that. I love whales.
Oh
And
my
that's,
gosh!
I'm literally the height.
And you are literally the size of a blue whale's heart, and you
I
love
am not
whales.
the weight.
I said you're the size.
Yeah, I just want to clarify, I'm not the weight of a blue
Okay.
whale's heart.
To clarify, Marie is not 400 pounds.
I
She's
would be
not even like
huge.
she's not even like 25% of that. She's
I
like
would be
all of
literally,
80 pounds.
I would be fucking massive if I was 400 pounds and 5'4".
Oh my God, you'd be if you were mobile at all, you'd be in the NFL. You'd basically be like a freaking like one of the animals I'm about to talk about today.
Oh my God, that'd be
Don't keep a secret, but
crazy.
you'd be a little tank.
I
You
would
would
be a
be a little tank.
tank.
No one's taking you down. 400 pounds, 5'4", lean, mean, heart beating machine.
Oh my God. Wait, that is cool that I am the height of a blue heart's whale. So every time you see me, you can
A blue
imagine
whale,
it.
yeah. I know. Every time I think of you, I'm going to think of that now.
Wow. Okay, well, you looked it up on Google, so it has to be true.
Yeah, so it must be true. And that you are the size of it too, which is crazy. I mean,
That is,
honestly, if it was the size of you, it's no doubt you can hear it. I mean, oh my God, you're very loud. I can hear you
I
from 2 miles away too.
I guess like it would just sound like a heartbeat, like boom, 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 boom. That'd be scary to hear in the water. I'd be like, what the
I
fuck?
mean, imagine that you're in the dark ocean, right? Nothing around you for what you can see as far as the eye. And you just hear in the ominous, deep nothingness, boom, boom,
Holy shit.
boom, 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 boom. I'm like, holy hell. That would be an insane thing to experience. You know, I would love if anyone out there is listening to this and has experienced that, please
Please,
share. Please
please.
share. I would love to know what that feels like.
Oh, got the chills. I just got the chills. That'd be so
Oh,
scary.
just boom, boom. Ooh,
And then you just see this big black mass swimming past you
yeah.
or underneath you.
But that'd be insane. Swimming underneath. I mean, they're the largest mammals to have ever known to have ever existed. Like 100 feet long, 100 feet, Marie.
Holy
To put
shit.
that in perspective, a school bus is like 35 feet, 30
Oh
feet.
my God. So it's like three of those.
It's like 3 school buses and probably weighs just as much. Crazy.
God, that just gave me the chills.
I know, right? Isn't that crazy? Something like that exists in this world. You just gotta sit back and be like, how the hell did that happen?
Why are we in the same universe? Wow. That's wow. That just puts a lot of stuff in perspective.
Yeah. I'm actually glad that for some of the animals that we're going to talk about today, I did write down some other facts for perspective because some of the animals I was
Yes.
able to learn about in Guyana are some of the most unique creatures in the world. And I have to say, I'm a fan of that Guyana fauna.
Guyana fauna.
I'm a fan of that Guyana fauna. Officially a fan.
Yeah, yeah. So I feel like this is a place, if you're into Indiana Jones, you're into Guyana.
Which I am. Hold on. Did someone say
Yes,
Indiana
yes,
Jones?
yes. You have to wear the fucking hat. Now you actually look very Indiana Jones right now, but
You
without the
know, I
AirPods.
actually, yeah, I know.
The AirPods.
Air Indy. This is my Air Jones. Air Jones
Millennial
pods.
Indiana Jones. Wait, which one's your favorite?
My favorite is the Raiders of the Lost Ark or Temple of Doom. Well, actually, I will say I really like Last Crusade too because that's the one with his dad, and their dynamic is amazing. Sean Connery, Harrison Ford, awesome dynamic there. Awesome dynamic.
Yeah. I loved it when I watched the first one. I was like, whoa, this is like all the things you love. Like it's just adventure. And then you get to travel too, watching it. This is such an Indiana Jones
Oh my gosh.
space.
Thank you for inviting me to adventure
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
the naturalness and beauty of it.
I feel like this is definitely a space for the traveler who hates tourism and wants to explore on their own and get into their own messy adventures because it's very hard to travel around it. It's like
You got to really want it.
you got to really want it, and you got to work with local natives, and you got to, there's probably, as Kyle's going to get into, so many animals you're going to have to
Work
encounter.
with them too, because they're
Yeah.
not trying to make it easy for you.
What did you know about Guyana before researching it?
I knew that it existed.
Okay, hey, that's a start because I only heard of Ghana, which is in Africa. I didn't know there was a Guyana.
Right.
So I'm covering Guyana because my friend is from there, my friend Kim, and we were
Have I
just
met Kim?
chatting.
No, I don't think so.
No, you haven't. She's from Atlanta.
Okay.
We were chatting, and I kept calling it Ghana, and she was like, "Girl, this is in South America." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And then I was like, "This is a great opportunity to learn about a country that I was getting wrong."
You know, I love that instead of like just being embarrassed by that you're like, I would love to dive into this and learn more. I think that
Yeah.
says so many great things about who you are, Marie.
Well, thank you. Because yeah, I was just like, this is embarrassing that I don't know anything about your country.
But hey, it's not. I don't think it's embarrassing to not know everything. I mean,
it's true.
I'm glad that she corrected you before we went on because this would have been.
You would have been correcting me.
Switch up everything. Yeah, I was like, so hold on. Let me just take that mic. let me take over here.
I get demoted.
But no, I'm glad that she corrected you before we went on. But hey, it's awesome that honestly, I didn't know much more besides the fact that it existed. So honestly, I knew barely more than you.
Barely, yeah.
Barely, really. I mean, at least I knew it wasn't Ghana.
Yeah. You get it's not a pun point, but let's say you get like a culture point. A culture point.
Oh wow!
Because you knew more than the host.
Has a culture point. Okay, well, that's no surprise. But who else has a culture point? I think I'm the first culture point scorer.
Because you knew that this was a country and I did not. So you get a culture point. So I think if you look on a map, there's like French Guyana, which I actually lived with a girl from French Guyana in Portugal, which is crazy. There's British Guyana, which is what we're talking about today. And then, well, it's independent now. So it's just Guyana. Whoop. And then it's next to Suriname and Venezuela, which they have beef with, which we'll kind of get into. But yeah, current beef that's active spicy beef. So Lonely Planet. So this is getting like everyone's starting to catch on like, oh, Guyana, it's a tourism place. So Lonely Planet called it the best destination in 2023. And it's the rising star in South American ecotourism. So people think of like Costa Rica with ecotourism, but Guyana is up there. They do pretty well with keeping like the nature and tourism separate. And I think it's because it's so freaking difficult to get around the country.
It's like they might as well make that part of the tourism.
Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be this like cleared out hotel chain. It could just be, I think that and if anyone is from the Guyana, wherever board that it can help with this, I hope they hear this message that the nature that lives there and the infrastructure you would need to eventually become, hopefully, does not need to be separate. I think that like a huge part of Guyana and just the natural beauty and spirit of that place is in that forest. It's in that jungle. Yeah,
100%. And I think you should earn it if you want to go visit it. I think if you want to go see this jungle.
Well, it's not. That's why it's still a jungle.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not fucking easy.
I think so some interesting stuff about it so something we're going to cover in different episodes about more of the culture of it, but it has a Caribbean vibe to it on the coastline. So on the coast, it feels like very Caribbean and it has a mix of Indian culture, Chinese culture, because they were all colonized by the British, but it is a English speaking South American country and also colonized by the Dutch. And I watched this documentary where the Dutch, there's so many canals on the coast. They were kind of treating it like how it is in Amsterdam and in the Netherlands. Cause they're like, oh, this is actually kind of similar to how our country is built. So they built like a whole canal system there. So, but it's interesting because it is like has a Caribbean feel on the outskirts. But as you go into the jungle, it feels more like South America. So to understand how remote everything is, 90% of the people live on the coast, like no one really lives anywhere else. And so if you want to visit Guyana, I would say like it's just easiest to go to Georgetown. That's like the
That's
main
cool.
city. But I just want to explain how difficult it is to get around. So if you and me were like, well, we want to go on a road trip,
I would love
psych,
that.
psych, it's gonna be
Oh,
so
never mind.
difficult. I'm gonna explain a little bit how difficult it is. So if you want to like try to get into the jungle, you can take a ferry and you can drive south for a little bit, and then there's no more roads. If you're like, okay, let's do a coastal road trip, you can go head towards Venezuela and you'll hit a town called Hackney, and then the roads stop. And they don't fuck with Venezuela. So there really definitely is no roads to get to Venezuela, which we'll learn why. And then let's say, all right, I really do want to get to Venezuela. To get to Venezuela, you have to go to the Barimi Waini region where 26,000 people live there, but their only way they can get around is through the river. And you could fly there in a very small plane and hit a jungle strip, and that's about it. If you want to go to Venezuela a different way, you have to drive all the way south, go through Brazil, and then back up north into Venezuela. So getting to the jungles is you really can only go by river. So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. So we would take a boat.
Yeah, like that's really your option. Or you can take a small plane, but I feel like that's still very remote. Like there's not a guarantee you can get to places. So this
Wow.
river is important to Guyana. It's called the Essequibo River. It's 628 miles and it snakes through the jungle. And it's a crucial resource for the locals for transport, food, and life.
The only
But
resource.
the only resource, but Venezuela
Yeah.
wants it. They want
Oh
the
shit.
river.
They
And
want
it's
the
river.
river.
They want the whole, yeah, they want the river. Do you know about this? What's going on?
I don't. No, I do not.
Okay. It's actually like unfolding as we speak. It's like the UN is involved. It's huge and going to be a game changer for Guyana if Venezuela takes the river. So if you can guess why there is a dispute is because of colonization. That is why.
God damn it.
You can trace all the problems back. That's
Yeah,
like
back to
the
where it all
theme.
started.
The fucking British. Yeah.
Well, how did that have to do with colonization?
Okay, so all the land west of the Essequibo River used to be part of Venezuela, put it on quotes because this used to be all Amerindian native land. But Spain had claimed Venezuela, and all the land west of the Essequibo River was theirs. However, 1899, Britain, Russia, and the United States got involved, and they're like, we're going to take this, and we're going to make it a part of the UK colony, British Guyana. And when there was an agreement in 1966 between Britain, Venezuela, and independent Guyana, because they got their independence, to reconsider the border dispute. So eventually, what happened is Britain took the land from Spain, Venezuela, and it's part of Guyana. And they always kind of wanted it back, but it wasn't until they found out that Guyana had oil 124 miles off
Oh, there it is.
that they were like, wait, fuck, we want this land back right now. And apparently, Guyana has about $40 billion worth of oil off of its shores. Yeah. So Venezuela wants it. They're like, all right, we kind of said we wanted it. Now we really want it back. So, but it's like back from what? Like these borders were created by Spain and Britain. So it's just, and you got these native people kind of involved in all this stuff. It's a mess and it's happening as we speak. The UN is involved on Guyana's side, actually, I think. So because they're going to take like more than half of Guyana away and they're going to take all the jungle and
As in they're going to like with their army take
mhm,
it?
mhm. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. And it would take away so much resources, take away the river, which is so like literally so crucial. And I don't have an opinion on it because I'm not from there, but I would say I'd hope it goes into the hands of whoever's going to keep up the ecotourism, which would probably be Guyana. I don't know. I don't know. I'm
But
speaking out of my ass. I have no idea about this that much, but it's just something to be aware of that this is a very spicy hot topic and it's going to affect a lot of people. It is affecting a lot of people. So the river
has there
is
been any
life.
military action?
Yeah.
You know?
Venezuela wants to like go ahead and take it and invade, and especially for the oil, because Guyana is now about to have an economy for the first time because of this oil. So,
Venezuela wants to get there before they do.
yeah. And you haven't heard of this? I feel like
No, I haven't.
it's
I
not
know.
news.
Yeah, it's not really in the news.
but it's huge. It's a big deal. They're
It's a
like trying to
huge
take half
deal.
this country, and then they would be stuck because they lose all the economic boom from the oil, and then they
Yeah.
lose their river. They'd be
Which means that
fucked.
they, as a country, would essentially probably be eventually absorbed by Venezuela.
Yeah, I would just be like, we'll take the whole thing, damn. Like, what do we have left?
Well, don't tempt them.
Okay, you're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
don't give them any ideas here. I mean, I don't know all the facts. I hope that the UN and political leaders there can think of a way in which no bloodshed can occur, and that perhaps the resources could be shared.
Mm,
There's got to be, if there's $40 billion there, I mean, there's ways to turn $40 billion into, $1 trillion that doesn't involve just the oil that's there, right? It's
mm,
the things that oil can do to help
mm.
those two countries. That's what they should, I think, be focusing on. And the problem is that if one of them has all of it, it's kind of like, obviously that's the contention part. There's got to be something that works out for everyone. Because
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I don't know much about Guyana, so I'm speaking on my ass too. I'll be the first person to tell you that. But I don't know if they're in the same position economically and in the world scale as Venezuela. So maybe Venezuela can help Guyana get there, and Guyana can in turn give them the oil, or like help, like give them a percentage of the
Yeah. Like
oil.
make it as a business thing.
Yeah, so that way Venezuela can benefit because they're getting the oil that they need,
Hmm.
and Guyana can benefit from the resources that the Venezuelan cities and people can offer them too.
Hmm. Yeah. I think that's a
Yeah, it's
better
a complicated
solution.
situation for sure.
It's yeah, it's
It's
so complicated.
complicated.
It's again because these are
Yeah.
borders that were created by colonizers, which is you can see there are a lot. This is not the only place in the world where there's an issue
Yeah.
like this.
Well, I could also see to that, especially to those two different countries, that those lines really don't mean much.
Mm,
Because in colonizing terms, if that line is backed by the British Royal Navy, or if that line is backed by the Spanish, fleet,
yeah.
Spanish armadas, then there's a little bit more of like, okay, we really don't want to just be fucking with each other,
Yeah.
so let's just like keep it. But
Yeah.
if it's, and I don't know much about the Guyana like forces, but I don't know if they'd be able to, without UN help, do much
Ugh.
against Venezuela.
Venezuela.
So I'd really hope that we just, because that's not a fair. I mean, not that you would even want it to get to a fight, but that certainly isn't a fair fight.
No, no. It's
Not
so
that I would
messy.
want one drop of blood to be spilled. So I like the idea of them because like they both know it's there,
Hmm.
and so I think this is a chance for them to reclaim a bit of their own history and not be divided by the borders that were set by foreign countries, but
Hmm.
maybe even united by the natural beauty and resources that the land has that could help them.
Mm.
Because Venezuela could use the help, and so could Guyana. So, like, why not work together to make them both better?
Yeah, that's beautifully said. Because I feel like if otherwise you're letting the colonizers win because you're like, hey guys, we're actually on the same side. Like we
Yeah, it's
used to be
like,
one big land and now we've been split
yeah,
up and now we're fighting each other.
yeah. And I totally get if they. I'm not saying they just join borders and whatever, unless that's what they both want to do, and
Mm.
they can come up with a new name or Venezuela, Guyana, whatever. That I think that'd be awesome. So I know it's complicated, and I'm not pretending like I have the answer. I'm just saying those borders, they shouldn't be the biggest thing that separates both countries from taking the W on this one home.
Mm.
The
Hmm.
W means the win
The
for
win.
those
Yeah.
who, yeah, the win. They both can get a W here. They just got to figure it out together.
I feel like you're really good at problem solving. I feel like you could like in a different life could work for like the UN or something. I feel like you're good at seeing like the big picture.
Yeah, I mean, bigger picture is like what can be done to promote humanity forward and with
Yeah.
the least amount of bloodshed possible.
Yeah.
And that, I think that would be it.
Yeah. I don't know. I would be interested to hear from people too, because like, I mean, I don't know. It's very
Yeah, it's
spicy.
obviously and I bet there's a ton of history and, whatever that is also getting in the way.
Yeah.
We cannot pretend to understand the whole situation here.
No.
We just really love what they both have to offer and hope they can work together.
Yeah. I'm studying Guyana, not Venezuela right now, and I'm just seeing how important this river is. It is
Yeah, it means
crucial.
everything. It means
So
everything.
to take that away would be like beyond
It'd be a
devastating.
death sentence. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
It'd be a
So
death
it's
sentence.
just so everyone's kind of aware, and you can always look this up on your own and like form your own opinions and just look it up. I think it's interesting, and no one's talking about it in the news like this huge events happening for Guyana. But this
Hmm.
isn't a politics podcast. Thank fuck. But we do like to just dip our toe just so we can like if you meet someone from Guyana, you're not like also oblivious to something that's happening to their land.
Yeah, it's like it's more than the animals they have. It's about the people too. That's all it
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Even though this is an animal episode. And so what's gonna
Right.
happen, I'm about to get into the geography for a little bit so we can kind of get a lay of the land, get the
Ooh, a
vibes,
little lay of the
lay of the
land.
land. But then Kyle's gonna go even deeper and we're gonna do animals and see what's in that land. So as I said, it's very remote. Everyone lives on the coast. If you want to get to the jungle, good fucking luck. It gets pretty mountainous as you go deeper in. And I want to talk about one mountain. It's called Mount Roraima. It is the highest mountain in Guyana. I highly recommend looking up. This mountain is not like an Everest mountain where it just goes up and up and up and up. It kind of looks like the stuff in Australia. It's a flat top mountain. So it
Hmm.
goes up and then suddenly it just plateaus and it just has this big slab of earth that just goes straight up. Um,
Cool.
yeah, the mountain borders Venezuela and Brazil. So I'm sure they all claim this, but it technically is in Guyana. And it's a monster of a mountain. It's 9,000 feet with vertical walls and a flat top. It is one of the most least accessible places on Earth. And really, only tribes live around there. Many of the animals and plants on the mountain cannot be found anywhere else but on top of this mountain. It's its own ecosystem on the top. And it's above the clouds. So if you look at pictures of it and to spell it, it's Roraima. It's just like the clouds sit beneath and it's just this big slab of earth that looks over the clouds. It's sick. And for, of course, when the colonizers got there, they're like, we have to conquer this mountain. It's ours. And so they failed like for hundreds of years. They could not get up this mountain because it's so remote and the cliffs are so straight. Like it's just a straight cliff. And what's cool though is it inspired a book called The Lost World. Have you heard of that book?
Jurassic Park.
Oh, is that what it's based on?
That's what Jurassic Park is based on for sure.
Well, okay, because it's funny you say that because the book is about Victorian explorers that discover a land of dinosaurs. So maybe
Dude,
that is what Jurassic
that
Park
is
is.
the Lost World Jurassic Park.
Wait, what? I wonder.
There is a movie called The Lost World Jurassic Park. You know the
Okay,
authors?
the Jurassic Park trilogy is loosely based off the novel The Lost World. Whoa, you can and this is all traced back to Guyana. So cool. And it's all based off this mountain. Beautiful.
Wow. It really does just go like
Straight up.
up. It's completely flat at the top.
Yeah, and it looks like an island at the top because of the clouds. It looks like you're
Oh my God.
living on an
Yeah.
island. And by the way, there are
Dude.
waterfalls jutting off
Yeah,
the
I see
island, like
that. Yeah.
many waterfalls that are
Mhm.
coming off this mountain. It's so
Oh
crazy.
my gosh. This is insane.
Yeah,
This looks like this would be like where frickin' the gods would hold council on this
yeah,
frickin' thing.
literally. This looks like where Zeus
This
would
is
live.
epic. Wow, what a majestic mountain.
The indigenous locals that say you must walk in silence at the top and you should only step on stones that haven't been stepped on, which I don't know how I
Why?
would know that.
Yeah,
I
how would you know that?
I don't know, but that's the rule. Okay. So if you get up there, you have to like hopscotch. So yeah, that is called Mount Roraima. It borders Brazil and Venezuela, and it is a prize to Guyana. And it's actually hard to cover geography on this episode because there's so much. So I'm just focusing on this one. And there's a big waterfall that's Guyana is known for. Now there's other waterfalls. There's Uchi waterfalls, Camarine waterfalls. There's all the waterfalls just coming off Mount Roraima. There's so many. But this is called the Kaieteur Falls, and it is the world's largest single drop waterfall. It just means like it doesn't like hit any other rocks. It goes straight down. It's like Niagara Falls.
I was literally just gonna say like Niagara Falls.
But what's funny is that this is 4 times higher than Niagara Falls. Yeah, so it's way bigger. And if you want to look it up, it's Kaieteur Falls. I'm going to post this all on Instagram, the pictures. But yeah, so it's 370 feet wide. That's 113 meters. And the height is 741 feet, 226 meters. And it has, again, this is context. I don't really know what this means, but it has 23,400 cubic feet of water rushing over the edge every second. So I don't
That's
really
a lot of
know.
feet, not a lot of seconds.
Not, not a lot of seconds. So there's some myths that come with the Kaieteur waterfalls.
Oh, love this. Okay.
One is epic and one is sad. Which one do you want to hear first?
Let's start with sad.
Oh, okay. So the Kaieteur Falls translates to Old Man Falls. So the myth, no,
Which old men tend to do.
yeah, yeah. The myth is once upon a time there lived an old Amerindian Indian in a village above the fall, an exceedingly feeble old man whose feet became infested with fleas.
Wow, roasted. Damn.
I know. So he is super old. He is covered in fleas to the extent that his friends and family were so disgusted by him and so annoyed by having to pick his fleas every day that they
Ew.
were like, you know what? Your ass is out. We don't want to deal with you anymore. So they considered him a nuisance and placed the old man in a canoe above the edge of the waterfall and shoved him off the waterfall. The strong current hurried him to the brink and swept him over its foaming water, and he was seen no more. So,
If you had a sponsor that was anything hygiene related, this would be a great time to say something. And that is why cleanliness is so important. This soap will help you with. It removes fleas from your feet in 2 seconds or less.
Could save your life.
The fleas will flee from your feet and they will not throw you over the waterfall.
That's insane. It wasn't just like the village. It says his friends and family were tired of him. His friends and family.
Can you imagine being in that position? You're just like, everyone's saying you got to get in that boat, and there's no one in the village who will support you. No one's like, no, guys, come on.
Come
He's
on.
like, I mean, oh my gosh. Like,
and also like being shoved into a boat and you know how far that waterfall is. Like, you know, you're dead. Like you live by this waterfall. You know it.
I wonder if they named the waterfall after that because of the remorse they felt after
guilt.
doing that. The guilt, yeah.
Well, you should at least name it after him. Damn, not Old Man
Well,
Falls.
they did it. I think they maybe it's better they didn't give him a name, because then it's like, well, you just gave a name to the thing you killed, the waterfall, and now it's just like extra remorseful.
Yeah, I bet they did
Because
feel
now
guilty.
you know the name of the guy who they did. I think it might have been, I don't know, but I feel like that would be something you would do if you were very remorseful. It's like, oh,
But
that
also,
old man waterfall. We threw
if
that
I
old
lived in
man
this
over.
village, I would be like, holy shit. This is what y'all are doing
I
to
mean,
people?
the like mob mentality. I wonder if that just took over and they were just like, throw him in the boat. He's gross.
He's so gross.
And then it's like, now that he's dead, now they like, oh, I kind of miss him. I kind of miss picking his fleas,
Yeah.
And keep in mind, this is like before we had all these distractions. Maybe they were just sitting around. It's like, nothing to do. Everything's been taken care of. Like, I kind of miss picking his feet.
Yeah, I kind of miss
He's
it.
like, I hope if also, I would be thinking like, if I ever got fleas on my feet, I would sure as hell not tell anybody.
Oh, I would never itch.
Fucking kidding.
I would
next
hold
on
my
that
tongue.
Boat. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Itch in private. I also wonder, like, he can't be the only person that's been thrown over. I feel like that was probably also how they kept maybe crime down. They're like, if you steal,
Oof.
we'll throw you over the fucking waterfall. Yeah.
I definitely feel that there's a lot of remorse behind the name of that fall.
Yeah, they definitely felt bad after. They were like, oh shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, so what's the good news?
So that's the good. Well, they're both sad, but
that's the good news. What? You asked me if I wanted a happy story or a sad story.
This one's just like sad, and the other one is also sad, but more heroic. Okay. So Kaieteur Falls, the other way is they're also saying it's named after this chief named Kyle. Oh, Kyle.
A fellow Kai.
Who offered himself as a sacrifice, paddling his boat over the raging waterfall to appease the great spirit Makanaima and save his people and his tribe. And that's his story, that he was like, I will sacrifice myself. I don't know, maybe they were having like a drought. Well, it wouldn't be a drought. They were having some sort of issue, and he decided to throw himself off the waterfall to save his tribe.
As a human sacrifice.
Yeah. So that's like out of bravery. Both.
God, that feels like that'd be a great movie.
But yeah, I want to know the story like leading up to like where he's like, guys, I'll just do it. I'll just throw myself off the waterfall. I'll paddle off. How epic. Yeah. Like they're like watching him like paddle off and then boom, he disappears. And then what a death.
I mean, knowing what we know now, I feel like he would have been better served helping instead of killing himself.
Yeah.
But
Like, wait, we need you.
maybe, yeah, but like maybe it was the collected belief that it would take this spirit to lift us, his death of this, like this giving back of this spirit would help all of our spirits rise up from
Mm,
whatever hardship. Maybe that's what was behind it. It's like we need to offer the gods an amazing gift if we're ever going to get out of this.
yeah.
If we're all going to survive, like, well, the most amazing thing I can think of is this guy.
Yeah. It's an honor.
And it's like, dude, if you went, I mean, oh my god, obviously it's like so freaking crazy, right? Because like you look at it now and it's like, did that actually save them? Maybe,
I don't
but I
know.
think it was more the belief. If they were saved, I think it was more of the belief that he would commit that for you. So
Mm,
now you're saved. So now you can move forward with your life and
mm,
knowing and manifesting that things will be okay, and you find a way to make it happen.
yeah.
It's that collective belief now.
Yeah, he died for us. I guess like Jesus.
Yeah.
But with this
Yeah, he
guy,
basically Jesus himself.
he Jesus himself. I guess the two themes of the story is that the waterfall, people throw themselves off of it, whether you're because of your just because you're so disgusting or because you're such an amazing person.
The river is life, and rivers also death.
Yeah, that's the Kaieteur Falls. So if you want to go see it, you can take a small plane and hike up to it, or you can take a plane and go around it and see it from the top. But these are tiny planes, by the way, if you're scared of tiny planes. But that's
Hmm.
some of the geography. There's actually so much more, but we only have so much time. And I know there's so much animals, and I really want to hear about the animals. So I'm gonna let you take it away, Kyle. Let's get into animals.
Hey everyone, my name is Alexandria and I run a food blog called The Foreign Fork where I'm cooking one meal from every country in the world. You might remember me from the Culture Cult episode titled Travel Story Getting Cancelled by All of Australia, and that is a true story worth listening to if you haven't heard it yet. So if you haven't, go check out that episode. Today's Culture Cult episode is on Guyana, and so I'm very excited to talk about that because I wanted to tell you about my experience cooking one of the most popular Guyanese dishes for my blog. When I was cooking Guyana, I did a lot of research beforehand, and all of my research kept pointing me in one direction, which was to make pepper pot. Pepper pot is a Guyanese dish that is the pride and joy of the country. It's made by cooking a combination of beef and pork together with a really unique Guyanese ingredient called kasreep. Kasreep is this thick brown sauce, and it's made from cassava. The kind of cassava that's used to make kasreep is really bitter, and without being processed, it actually contains cyanide. The cassava is grated, and then the juices are squeezed out of it, which are then boiled with sugar, and the resulting product is this really thick, molassesy textured sauce that is this deep black color. And the color really threw me off at first, but it does make for a delicious flavor in the stew. I bought my kasreep from Amazon, which was the only place I was able to find it, but you can also find YouTube videos on how to make it at home if you're willing to risk the cyanide. Once you have your kasreep, it's time to get started. So to actually make the pepper pot, beef and pork are stewed together for a few hours in a pot alongside spicy peppers, cinnamon sticks, cloves, thyme, onion, garlic, celery, orange peels, kasreep, and more. Now, here's the thing that I really am excited to tell you about pepper pot, which is that it has a super unique quality because it's best when eaten a few days after making it. And the kasreep that's in the pepper pot acts as a natural preservative for the stew, meaning that you can continue to eat it long after a normal stew would have gone bad. So it's actually very common to leave the stew on the stove at room temperature for up to 2 weeks at a time. And all you need to do every day is reheat it to a boil for a few minutes every day to make sure that it stays good. Isn't that crazy? Pepper pot is a national dish for Guyana, and it was so fun to experiment with it and make it at home. I'm not an expert on Guyanese cuisine, but I did have so much fun learning about this unique dish. You can find my recipe on foreignfork.com or follow me at the Foreign Fork on Instagram or TikTok to see what other recipes I experiment with from around the world. Put some culture in your kitchen this week.
So Guyana has a lot of amazing ecosystems, and it's a very, very diverse part of the world. It's got savannas, it's got coastal regions, and it's got rainforests. A lot of it is unclaimed nature. And even the beaches are actually, there is a beach there that is made completely of shells. It's called Shell Beach. And
Accurate.
over time, the shells were just battered by the wind and the waves and the stone. to eventually become very refined and is now a beach, a whole beach of just shells, like you're just walking on shells, which is amazing. You think about how long something like that would take. So imagine the beauty of this country, right? Dense jungles, wide savannas, amazing mountain ranges, and coastal lines. One of the animals we're going to be talking about today is something you'll find on the coastal line. So have you ever heard of the leatherback turtle?
No.
So if I also have you guess, all right, how big do you think this turtle is? What would you say?
It is the size of a blue whale's heart.
I would say that you'd be close, but it's actually bigger.
What? It's taller than, it's bigger than me?
They can measure up to 6 to 7.2 feet long.
Holy shit.
And can weigh anywhere from 550 to 1,500 pounds of turtle. That is 1,500 pounds of turtle. These things are massive. And if you ever get a chance, look up a picture of these things. They are freaking massive. They're named leatherbacks after their leathery looking skin.
What?
They're right. They are majestic.
Oh my God. They're so cute.
Right? Aren't they huge?
How do they handle their big body? Oh my God.
They turtle their way through it.
Jesus Christ.
Right.
It's so big. Oh, their face is ancient. Their face is actually
it is
terrifying.
Ancient. You know, they actually kind of reminded me of the lion turtle in Avatar, because in The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
They're just so massive, and they have this like they have basically an island of a shell, and they have this like magnificent, lionish looking presence, very majestic. They're beautiful, beautiful animals.
Wow. I can't believe this exists on the same earth.
Doesn't this look like it was something prehistoric? Like it's been coming here for like centuries, and it is, honestly.
I did not know this. That just blew my mind. Do you know if it's like pretty rare to see them?
Yeah, they are endangered. People hunt them for obviously they're huge, so people hunt them for food. Turtles' eggs, obviously the chances of any turtle returning is very, very slim.
Oh.
Because once they're out in the ocean, birds get them when they're crawling the beaches. Fish get them. It's not an easy life as a turtle. But when they can actually take advantage of their size, they are unbeatable. They are just like tank.
Wow. I just researched the threats. It says poaching of eggs, entanglement in fishing nets, death due to plastic ingestion, boat strikes, and destruction of nesting sites. They live in open waters and can travel thousands of kilometers annually. And the adults spend their entire life in the open ocean. So I guess you're saying that, the women come back, the females, sorry, not women,
to lay their eggs on the beaches.
Yeah.
Definitely look up pictures of leatherback turtles. They are amazing. And if you've ever seen one or had an experience with one, please share. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, please send pictures.
Yeah. So the next animal we're moving on to is called a hoary-throated spinetail. So Marie, what do you know about hoary-throated spinetails?
Spinetails. I'm going to guess, since we're still talking about coastal, that it's some weird fucking fish.
It's actually, we're not talking coastal anymore, to be fair. We're talking more like lowlands.
Lowland. Oh, okay, hold on. Spinetail. It's a weird lizard.
You're not miles off.
Am I a kilometer off?
You're light years off, actually.
Oh, okay. Damn. What is this?
It's actually a bird. It's a bird.
Oh, I'm really off.
It's a critically endangered little bird. Looks a little bit like a robin. They're only found in this region of the world. They're only found in the Rio Grande Branco in Brazil and Western Guyana. That's it.
Wow.
And they're so rare that not a lot is known about them, but they are very noticeable and they're easily detected by their voice, which is a hard double note. They are endangered because they're losing their habitat to rice plantations, and they can't really exist anywhere else because they're so curtailed to living in that environment that when the rice plantations come in, these birds are getting wiped out.
Oh, no.
But they are beautiful, beautiful birds and definitely deserve their place in the world. And I hope that Guyana realizes that and they move to protect them even more, which they are already an endangered species, obviously.
What is it called again?
Hoary, Hoary, throated spinetail.
Throated. Sexual birds. You just need to put one extra letter in there and it's a horny-throated spine-tail. It's very
Like,
close.
These birds get down.
Save the horny-throated spine-tails. They're so cute.
Yeah.
They need this certain tree or something like with the rice fields or something.
The land that the rice fields are taking over. They need the land to survive. They're critically endangered. But yeah, aren't they cute? They kind of look like little robins.
Yeah, they're tiny. They're little baby birds.
Yeah, they're like a little sparrow robin mix. We're going to move on to the giant armadillo, which is also something that is native to Guyana. So it is the largest species of armadillo and it's considered very vulnerable. They have 80 to 100 teeth, which is more than any other terrestrial animal.
What?
Yeah, 100. They have 80 to 100 teeth.
What do they need that teeth for? What are they eating?
For armadilloing.
They're armadilloing.
They mostly do that, yeah, and like bugs and stuff.
Oof.
Their front claws can reach 8.7 inches in length. That's almost a foot of claw.
Oh my God.
They're only about 4 feet long, but guess how much they can weigh?
70 pounds.
You are right. They can range 41 to 70 pounds, which for a little perspective is around the weight of a female German Shepherd. But there have been species that were caught in the wild that were 119 pounds.
Jesus Christ.
And one in captivity actually got to 180 pounds.
Their skin is kind of weird. I'm looking at the picture.
Yeah, they're armored. That's their armor.
But it's kind of slimy. A little slimy.
It's not slimy. It's reflective, but it's not slimy. You're seeing the light reflecting off the armor.
Oh, weird.
They're solitary and nocturnal, and they can sleep up to 18 hours a day.
Oh my God. That's just like the sleepiest animal.
The sleepiest dillo I've ever heard of.
Oh my God, that's so cute that they need that much sleep.
When you guys get a chance, go check out the size comparison to a giant armadillo and a normal armadillo, and you will see why they earn the name.
I just think that's so cute that they sleep that much. Like,
yeah. For like being such a little tank, they certainly need to rest their engines a lot.
Wow, sleepy little things.
I wouldn't say little, but
not little.
They're the giant armadillos.
The giant armadillos. Yeah.
Moving on, so we're going to stay on the giant train.
Love it.
We're going to talk about the giant otter. So we've actually talked
the South American river otter.
Right.
Fuck those.
So they're also here. Some people do see them as the wolves of the river, but they kind of act like a gang, to be honest. So to put in perspective, they are truly giant otter. Truly giant. They can reach almost 6 feet in length, which means they are my size.
Oh my God.
So imagine like all the times that you stood next to me. Imagine that all of that, but 6 feet of otter.
That's terrifying. That is fucking terrifying.
Right. But also think about how enormous that is. Like this otter, they are 6 feet long. They are the noisiest otters in the world. And so they've obviously been hunted a lot because of their beautiful pelts.
Oh.
And early 1800 pelts have suggested that the largest males could even get up to 7 feet. 7-foot otter.
Oh, God.
They are hyper aggressive. And so you don't really want to get too close to them. But they are enormous. They're one of the most also endangered animals with, in 1999, a population of under 5,000 left in the wild. Yeah, under 5,000. Just because they were so severely hunted because of their pelts. They have all of the intelligence that you would expect in an otter. They can eat fish, crabs, turtles, snakes, and have even been known to eat the local caiman, which are like basically like little crocodiles.
Wow, that's wild.
Species of crocodilian, yeah. They can even hunt and kill little crocs, basically little caiman.
Wow.
They are very social, like wolves. They have 20 members in the huge gangs, right? But typically they're around 3 to 8, which is enough. And you can even look up videos of these otters scaring away jaguars.
Wow.
They are no joke. A jaguar would not really, out of all the options that they have, I don't really think they want to fuck with a giant otter. And yeah, Guyana is actually known, if not the last stronghold of this magnificent otter.
You're saying there's only 500 left in the world?
5,000 in 1999.
Oh.
1999.
Yuck.
So they are making a recovery. However, they obviously need a lot of space and room and time to recover. So we need to give them all the time and space we need. They are magnificent and such a magnificent animal. It's like a native spirit to this part of the world, such an important part of that ecosystem that I really hope that they are around for millennia to come. They're truly magnificent. I know that they're not your favorite,
But they're just
but obviously they
terrifying.
deserve their place in the world. And yeah, they are terrifying, to be fair. But that's just what you gotta be terrifying to survive out here. It's a fucking jungle. No one here is messing around. All right. This is a jungle. And you gotta be bad. You gotta be real bad to live out here. And these guys, they're the baddest otters out there. They're literally like bullies. They'll just go around and they're otter gangs and like
Otter gang.
they get after it.
It's fascinating. You're right. Like the jungle, like you do have to be like this to survive. There's so much
Yeah,
competition.
I know. I mean, people see nature when they smoke a blunt, get high, and watch nature, and it's like, wow, it's so beautiful, so perfect, right? But then you get out there and you're like, oh my God, it's trying to eat me.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially the jungle.
That's the jungle. Yeah. There's a reason why not a lot of fossils are found in jungles, and it's because anything that dies is quickly eaten by something else, or vegetation will grow over it. So fossils aren't very common in jungles.
I never thought about that.
Everything gets eaten down to the bone. It just gets, like the plants will eat it. It's all you.
Wow.
So
I think the jungle is my least favorite terrain personally because it's so much.
I would agree. I would have to say I agree. I'm saying not my least favorite terrain. Like, obviously that's its place in the world.
Yeah.
But I would say to live in jungle, to me, like the insects, the snakes, that alone would be like not my fave.
Yeah.
And then obviously you have like the other fun perks of jungle. Typically a lot of venomous things are found there. And yeah, now you got otters, a 6-foot otter. Can you imagine that? Giant river otter coming after you.
That is so scary.
So speaking of jungly areas, and we were mentioning birds earlier, we're going to move to some of the birds out there.
Yeah.
So have you ever heard of the Guyanan cock of the rock?
No.
So this cock of the rock is 12 inches, in case you were wondering.
Cock of the rock?
A cock of the rock. Look it up.
I'm really scared
Guyana
about typing
cock
this
of the
in.
rock.
Because I typed in Guyana cock and I was like, I need more words to type into Google.
type in 12-inch Guyana cock of the rock.
I'm really scared. Okay, I put cock of the rock. Whoa, everyone needs to look this up.
I know.
Everyone look up Guyana cock of the rock. Make sure you finish the sentence.
Right now. Make sure you get every single word in there.
Please. This is the coolest
the females
bird.
are very brown, right? But the males are a beautiful bright orange with a half moon crest on their head.
This is the coolest bird ever.
Right? Aren't they beautiful? So they are also very rare. They're very small, so they're only about like 6.9 ounces. Not the biggest bird, but in no means, for what they lack in size, they certainly have in beauty. The females are actually brown because they typically nest around rocks, and so they become less noticeable. But obviously the males in their broad-based bill and the remarkable half-moon crest are some of the most beautiful birds that you'll look up today. Actually, I think I said they were endangered. They're actually not endangered.
They're not. Okay, yay. A winning point. Something's not endangered. This is so refreshing.
Right. Look up their complex courting behavior. It's really cool. Well, if you love that bird, you're going to love this next little animal.
Okay, is it another sexual innuendo? The
well,
horny throated.
The first word is bush.
Okay, keep going. I need more words to type into Google.
The second word is dog.
Bush dog. Okay, that's safe.
Bush dog. All right, so before you look it up, if I was to tell you what's something that had the muzzle of a bear, the webbed feet of an otter, and a bizarre, short, shaggy tail that almost exclusively hunted in water, what do you think that would look like?
Weird.
Yeah, they kind of look like a mongoose, like a bigger mongoose.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and look at them up now. Yeah, check them out.
Dog?
Bush dog.
Oh, they're kind of cute. Yeah. Wow, what I was imagining was like really weird.
They live in gangs of up to 12.
Whoa.
And they actually don't bark. They squeak and they yelp.
Oh,
They can hunt a wide variety of things, including rodents, capybaras, and they're excellent, excellent swimmers. With their webbed feet help them move quickly through water, and they can stay submerged for up to 30 seconds. They typically like to hunt the smaller ones, but they have been even known to hunt tapir, which is one of the largest, if not the largest, mammal in South America. So little is known about them because they just stay away. They
oh,
don't
okay.
really like people. But it's funny, actually, their closest relative is actually the maned wolf, which is another insane animal for a different time. And they're very social. They function just like a wild dog pack, except they
Wow.
can swim too. So I feel like life as a bush dog would be kind of fun. I don't know.
Yeah, you get best of both worlds as long as you don't run into an
Yeah.
otter.
Or, one of the other animals we're going to talk about later today.
Oh, okay.
Actually, one of the animals we can talk about next, actually. So, what do you know about the harpy eagle?
I know eagles can just dive fast in general, but I don't know anything about the
I
harpy
think you're
eagle.
thinking about falcons.
Oh, there you go. Then I
So,
know nothing.
falcons are the divers.
I know
Okay.
nothing about eagles.
So, the harpy eagle, this is one of the biggest eagles in the world. Okay. It's
Whoa.
also considered one of the most powerful ones. Its rear talons, just to put a little size comparison here, the rear talons can reach 4 to 5 inches,
Wow.
which, for perspective, is the same size as a grizzly bear.
What?
Mhm.
This eagle? I'm so scared.
Yes. Their wingspan can reach 6.5 feet,
Oh God. Oh
which is basically
God.
like an NBA player,
Jesus
basically 6.5
Christ.
feet. And they're about 3.5 feet tall. They eat sloths, possums, and monkeys, and pretty much
Good.
anything else they can get their enormous claws into.
Wow. Oh my God. Its
Mhm.
head is crazy looking.
Yeah. They're actually named after Greek mythology, the harpy, which is like a half human, half bird combo. And their grip strength is measured at 530 psi, which, for comparison, a human bite is 160.
Oh my God.
These are about almost 5 times, around 4 to 5 times heavier. It is so powerful that it could actually crush a human skull.
This is one of the
Yeah.
wildest animals I've ever seen. Like
Hmm.
looking at this.
Yeah. So while it is wild, it also is a bit of a romantic.
Okay.
They are monogamous, and couples can stay together for life.
Oh my God. Wait, I love that.
Yeah. So once these harpy eagles commit,
That's it.
they're flying the distance.
They're flying solo. That's so sweet that they're like,
Yeah.
they have like their partner. I wonder why they would pick a partner. I was like,
Well, I think it's like once they know that they found the one, it's like that such a deeper connection that not even a 4 to 5 inch talon could really reach. I mean, it's so much deeper than that.
wow, we should look up to
Yeah.
these guys on finding partners.
Yeah. The females are actually larger than the males, which is kind of typical in a lot of eagles.
Hmm.
And they also, fun fact, are the inspiration behind the movie Dumbledore's Phoenix, Fox,
Yes.
in Harry Potter.
I was about to say, and immediately I thought of the Phoenix in Harry Potter,
They
or
do look like a freaking phoenix.
the
So,
thing. Actually, what it really looks like also is that thing that Hagrid has in the
oh, the
third
griffin.
book,
Yeah.
the
Hmm.
Griffin.
Yeah, they do look a lot like a griffin.
Well, I mean, this is the craziest looking bird I've ever seen in my life. I don't even. Also, this bird has abs that I'm looking at.
Basically, they are the same size as me. If I was sitting down on a chair, they're the size of me from my hip to basically the top of my head. They are extremely nimble too. They can't weave through trees necessarily, but they're
Oh no,
pretty
no.
good at flying through a jungle, which for an enormous bird with a 6.5 foot wingspan is an accomplishment in and of itself.
It looks like something out of a fantasy movie. Like this doesn't look like it's part
Right.
of our world. The head is
Yeah.
so weird. Like the head is
It's
so
intense.
weird.
Yeah.
The body looks like a chicken. Like it's like a thick body, big legs, huge head. I mean, I would shit my fucking pants. Like I'm not kidding. I think this is the scariest animal. I could visually like. Oh my God, the wingspan. Y'all have got to
Yeah.
look this up.
They're actually very intelligent too. So they've actually have been known to leave sloths in their area once they know them because they're so slow that they can get them anytime. that they'll actually like keep the sloth alive in their area until they really need them, because they can just pick off a sloth whenever they need it. Which is like, I'm not covering a sloth today because honestly, how is this thing still alive? I mean, like, my gosh, in this crazy, insane jungle of like 6-foot otters, 6.5 feet long harpy eagles with claws the size the same as grizzly bears, how is the sloth still alive? I'm like, my gosh. Aren't they magnificent though? They are magnificent animals. Let's look up the national bird of Guyana.
Okay.
Look up the Hoatzin. Spell it Hoatzin.
I'm kind of surprised the Harpy Eagle is not the national bird, because this is epic.
They are pretty epic.
Like, whoa. Looks like a turkey
but this
with
one's
a mohawk.
pretty epic too. As I said, Guyana national bird, and they are actually featured on the national and presidential coat of arms.
Wow.
So that ain't just no normal chicken you're looking at.
It does look like a chicken.
One of their most unique features is they eat plants. And so because of that, they have a fermentive digestive system, which means that they can basically ferment and break down plant matter in a way that is usually only found in herbivores like sheep or cow.
Okay.
So the process of them doing that is so gassy that they are also known, maybe affectionately, maybe not, as stink birds, because they literally smell like shit.
That's terrible. That's actually terrible.
Yeah.
What?
So it's because, obviously they're digesting the grass in a very similar way as like a sheep or a cow. They're going to smell like cow shit.
Wow. That's so funny, because one of the pictures, before you said that, it just says, I smell like poo. And it has a picture of it.
Well, they do. That was not a lie. But they're beautiful. They have like that blue, like skin around their eyes, and they have a crown that is orange, and they have like some red plumage on their wings, and they are black and white on their backs and like at the end of their feathers. But there's obviously a lot of range there with the color.
Yeah.
But their wings are so cool because they have this like orange at the end, and it kind of looks a little bit more like what I thought a phoenix would look like. It's kind of a mix between like a peacock, which also is a pheasant, and like a hawk, like a falcon, maybe a little bit, like a beautiful, beautiful birds. And they have that beautiful blue on their face, and it's like jumps out. It's like a cockatiel.
I wonder, does the smell also deter like animals from eating it because it smells terrible?
I would say that probably helps. Well, yeah, I mean, think about it. It smells like shit. You're not going to be like, ooh, I wonder what that tastes like. Like, well, it smells like shit. It probably tastes like shit, which is probably a good thing, because the babies actually don't really have wings.
Oh.
Instead, they have claws. Oh. Yes. They are born with claws that they can use to climb, which they then later change to fully have wings.
Oh my God, that's so wild that it like grows wings, and they're just like.
So like, on the elbow of their wings, they have claws. So what happens is like when a predator attacks the nest, the babies will jump out, and they usually perch over water. Like they build their nest over water.
Okay.
So the baby will fall to the water, hopefully is okay, can swim, and then to the trunk of the tree, and then climb its way back up.
Oh, that is so cool.
And return to the nest. Yeah. And then they later shed those claws for full-on wings.
Wow.
They're crazy, right? Yeah. It's so different than the adult.
Look at it climb. I mean, that's so smart. Like, that's nature right there. That is so smart that it's like, we're going to think of a way that you can survive if we're attacked.
Yeah. Well, think about it. I mean, you have a bird that is born with claws on its edges. So almost like a dinosaur, like literally like a dinosaur.
Yeah.
It later loses those claws, which totally just become wings. It eats plants and has the same digestive trait as like a sheep or a cow. And it's called a stink bird. I mean, and also like, look at it. This is one of the most unique birds I've ever learned about in the world. And they are beautiful looking. And I mean, I would say it's a friendlier choice than a harpy eagle. I feel like a harpy eagle sends a very strong message.
We love him. We love the stinky bird, the poop bird.
So now we're moving down to the ground.
Okay.
Guyana's also known for its many snakes, which is also something you mentioned. You're excited about it. So I'm going to talk about some of the bigger ones, just because, not just in size, although they do have the biggest snakes in the world,
Wow.
But the ones you need to know if you're ever going to visit.
Oh, this is good to know.
So the first one is the famous green anaconda. They are enormous. Okay. They're typically 20 feet and can reach 330 pounds of snake.
Oof.
330 pounds. All right.
Jesus.
And
Eef.
they have been known to reach 20 feet, which in perspective, like we said, a school bus is 30 feet.
Oh, no.
So they are about 10 feet shorter than a school bus.
Oh, my God.
Some of the ones found a long time ago have been known to reach 30 feet. Although they're very rare, they do exist, and they can reach 30 feet and 550 pounds.
Jesus Christ. Oh, my
And
God.
this is a snake. They are very slow on land, but they're pretty much built for the water. I mean,
Yeah.
even their eyes and their nose are oriented on their head towards the surface so that they can like hide in the water and peek out and hide their enormous body and just kind of like peek out. So they're
Wow.
really, really great in the water, but not so great on land.
Okay. Heard.
But they're honestly so enormous that they would render any attack on them pretty useless. Yeah, they're just so enormous. Like it would take a lot of bites and a lot of slashes from a jaguar to even take this thing down. And I feel like even then it would take a lot.
It makes me wonder how it's fast underwater because it's so big.
Yeah, well, because the weight is negated by the water pressure.
Okay.
So it's like how a enormous animal like the leatherback turtle, right, can like
True.
glide in water quickly, or like how a blue whale would be able to like move pretty quickly through the water. Those same advantages that are given to those large animals and how they can move quickly, very similar to how a green anaconda can move quickly through water.
Wow. This is Guyana. I don't know. I like learned about it, but I don't think I'm going to be visiting. This is terrifying. Like the river is terrifying. Like the river
that's where
otters.
all these animals exist by.
All we need is a fucking hippo. If you say there's hippos there, we're done.
There are no hippos that are
I'm
native
surprised.
to Guyana. Me too. You think they would thrive, which is why Colombia is having that problem because the hippos are just loving it. There's no natural predators, and they are basically just shot up to S tier the minute they landed.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing is messing with a full-grown hippo. I don't care if you're a jaguar or a bunch of jaguars. You're not messing with a full-grown hippo.
Wow. Well, good thing Guyana doesn't have them because it would ruin everything.
They are invasive, but like, yeah, no hippos here. We're not talking about hippos today.
I'm not going to Guyana. I will be the girl that stays in Georgetown. I will just visit Georgetown.
Well, the next animal I'm going to tell you about is definitely going to want to make you stay closer to Georgetown.
Okay.
So one of the most famous snakes there is called the fer de lance, and it is a venomous pit viper. It is one of the most dangerous snakes. It accounts for 45% of all documented bites in Guyana. They are very, very well camouflaged. They basically look like a bunch of fallen leaves.
Oh, no.
And their venom is a hemotoxic, which will cause hemorrhaging and swelling and bleeding.
Oh, God.
So majority of bites are treated, but I believe the number I found in my research was like 5 to 7% of bites can become fatal. If left untreated, can certainly become fatal. One thing you really need some luck against, and I saved this best for last, in my opinion.
Okay.
It's my favorite big cat, the jaguar.
You love
no
the jaguar.
List. And like, honorable mentions, right? Piranha, giant anteater.
The piranha.
Yeah, there's so many other animals I could have talked about.
Fuck.
But I know we're very limited on time.
Yeah.
But you could not fully talk about the wildlife of South America without talking about the beautiful jaguar.
Yes.
So they are my favorite big cat, personally, because they're the most versatile. They are excellent swimmers. They love swimming in water. And they are also kings of the land. Excellent big cats. They can grow to be 6 feet, 250 pounds, 250 pounds of cat. They are excellent swimmers. They can reach up to 50 miles an hour, which, by the way, makes them the second fastest big cat.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And melanistic jaguars are also called black panthers, but they're not a different species. They're still a jaguar. Huh. They're just melanistic. So that's what we call the all black jaguar, is a black panther. They are the third biggest big cat behind the tiger number 1, the lion number 2. So they're number
Wow.
3. And they're a little bit more like a pit bull of the big cats. They're not long in the legs. They're kind of like shorter in the legs, but they're super stocky. They're 250 pounds of muscle.
Wow.
But the muscle isn't the only thing they have going for them. Their bite force is the most damaging bite of any big cat. It is so strong it can pierce armor and is measured at 1,500 psi. 1,500 psi. For perspective, a grizzly bear bite is 1,160.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. No one's talking about that.
So this bite force is significantly more damaging than a grizzly bear. To put this in perspective, imagine that 1,500 psi is what a jaguar is, right? To crush a bowling ball, you would need 1,160 psi
What?
to crush a bowling ball.
What?
This thing bites at a pressure force of 1,500 psi, which basically means that when it hunts things like caiman or capybara or whatever, they're so accurate with their eyes too, which are very unique. They're actually called apex eyes, and they pretty much negate any stealth feature that any other animal would have. So if you're trying to hide, it can see you.
Oh my God.
If you're trying to hide in murky water, they can see you.
Wow. Wow.
They have some of the best eyesight in the animal kingdom, especially among cats, which already have amazing eyesight. And they are basically the S tier of the jungle, in my opinion. Like they can one-shot a caiman because they're so accurate with their attacks. They can sneak up on a caiman from behind, bite the back of its head, which is honestly like the top of these caiman are the most armored part of their bodies.
Okay.
They can bite the top of his head and just crush the caiman right away.
Wow.
And then drag it, all that dead weight, out of the river onto land. That's how strong they are.
Oh my God.
Just a little perspective on caiman. They're kind of like a mix between, like in size, they're not quite a Nile crocodile or anything, nowhere near that.
No.
And they're not also as big as gators. I mean, they're a little bit more like gators, actually. They're like 13 feet.
Wow.
And
The fact that a jaguar can pull it and bite into it.
Yeah, it can bite the back of its head, crush it, and then carry it out of the water.
Wow.
A black caiman.
Wow.
Caiman are 13 feet and 1,000 pounds. So actually, they're bigger than the jaguar.
Wow. I wonder how that
pounds.
Fight would go. Like, I guess it's the jaguars just like waiting for the caiman to.
They're ambush. They're pure ambush.
Yeah.
A jaguar would not, like, why would you want to take that on head on?
Yeah, no.
Like, yeah. I mean, it's 1,000 pounds and 13 feet. So you need, if you're a jaguar, you need to attack it from behind, which is what most cats will do anyway.
Wow. Wow.
And also, the jaguars are the national animal of Guyana.
That's a good one. They have the fart bird and then the jaguar.
And then the jaguar. It's such a symbol of the jaguar. You know what I mean? Such a beautiful animal. The rosette like spots.
Absolutely beautiful. Like I wonder why the spots. I guess maybe it helps with like other animals, like they can't see them.
Yeah, it helps with camouflage. Yeah, it helps break their shape so that they blend in with shadow very well.
Wow. Yeah, I'm looking at the jaguar. It is like
they are just beautiful. They are my favorite big cat. And I mean, what can I say? They're just gorgeous.
They're stunning. They're stunning. And the fact that they can do water and land is so cool. I mean, like if you're in the jungle,
and
you have to do it.
That's why they're my favorite, honestly, because they are excellent swimmers. And so you get the best of both worlds. You get to like swim in the water. You get to like explore the land. I mean, basically all of Guyana is your playground if you're a jaguar.
Yeah.
And excellent climbers.
Wow, that is so sick. I think like my favorite that I learned is totally the turtle. I did not know they got that big. I love the turtle. I loved the harpy eagle. What the fuck?
Yeah, the harpy eagle, magnificent.
Shocking. And then I love the orange bird.
Oh, the cock on the rock?
Love the cock on the rock.
I know. I bet you that little bird has got what it lacks in size, it has in personality.
Oh,
for sure.
Totally. Mm-hmm. What was your favorite thing learning about Guyana?
You know, I'm not going to lie, going into it, I knew a lot about a lot of these animals just by being a fauna fan. So I knew a lot about the leatherback turtles. I knew a lot about the giant otters. I knew about the harpy eagles. the Hoatzins, and obviously the anacondas, the jaguars. But my favorite to really truly learn about, I would say, was probably the Hoatzin, because like I knew of them,
Yeah.
but they're kind of like lazier birds. Like they don't really like move a lot, and so because they're
digesting so
digesting all the
much.
time, they're literally chewing the cud. That's what they're doing. So they're beautiful. They literally look like to me like a little bit more like a phoenix,
Yeah.
and they have the stomach system of a sheep. They have claws when they're kids, or like obviously baby birds,
Yeah.
and then they climb and they lose those claws somehow. They evolve into wings like a Pokemon, and there's just no other bird in the world that is like that. That is truly one of one.
Yeah, one of one.
Truly one of one. I would also say my close second, I would say, was probably the giant armadillo.
Oh, I love him.
Because they are this little like tank that's like a little like chugging along, and they are just like super like thick, 4 feet long, but like 70 pounds.
Jeez.
Even getting up to over 100. I mean, like, my God, what an armadillo. I mean, that's like freaking Ice Age style mammal traits, right?
Wow.
Like, when they had like bears that were like enormous and whatever, like that just giant mammalian like build is really like Ice Age-ish to me. And so to think that there's an armadillo out there that is, the same weight as a German Shepherd is.
And he probably has so much to eat all the time. He is not worried. Ants on ants on ants.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're just trucking along, I mean, and obviously my favorite is the jaguar.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
Jaguar is classic.
I've loved jaguars for a super long time. I've always
Why don't you get a tattoo?
The facts and looking at them, because the jaguar sends a very strong message. A jaguar is a very intimidating thing to have on you. And I'm not jaguar energy all the time.
What is jaguar energy?
Well, they are very solitary,
mm-hmm.
and they are a cat at the end of the day. I feel like a jaguar is a mood to me. I can get in jaguar moods, but I feel like to always be in jaguar mood can be very a solitary life, which I feel like I'm not really a solitary like kind of guy. I like being around other people. I feel like what I would relate to most of these is probably either the bush dog or the river otter.
Oh my God, you are not the river otter. You are not. You're not a bully. You hate bullies.
You're just saying that because you like the turtles.
No, I just don't think you're a bully.
Well, I mean, to other animals, they're bullies, but they have extremely complex social structures.
Yeah.
They raise pups. They're basically like wolves. You can think of a wolf as a bully, sure. But, it's really just fulfilling its purpose in life. I mean, it's born as a wolf. It's going to do wolf things. Same thing with the river otter.
I can see that.
Yeah.
The river otter.
What about you? Which one did you feel like you were most closely connected to?
Probably the little bush dog, because it's social. It's social, but it likes to swim, but it's not always in the water. It's like, it doesn't seem like it's super aggressive. And I'm not the stinky bird.
Yeah, well, I don't think the bird should just be known for its stink.
I know.
I mean, I just listed all of this like other cool things.
I know.
It does. I mean, yes, it does smell bad, but think about that. Like you climb your way to the top, literally the claws on your wing, like a dinosaur, and then you evolve into having wings. I can't really, off the top of my head, think of another animal that goes through a bigger transformation outside of the insect world.
That's true. Like the evolution that it goes through.
I mean, think about it. Cats get bigger, obviously.
Yeah.
And but I just never really thought of, I can't think of another animal that is born with basically like claws on its wings, like soon to be wings, and then it grows fully into wings. I can't think of another animal that goes through that kind of transformation, honestly. Like outside of like a butterfly or moth or something like a cocoon, right? Off the top of my head, can't think of anyone that goes through that much of a transformation. It's like he's got all these cool things, but it's like that one thing, but he smells bad.
But he smells bad. Well, scent is important. It's important.
Oh, it's so important. I mean, like, look, would you want to be with someone who, was a millionaire, could show you how it did it, like excellent in bed, excellent travel partner, wonderful conversationalist, but he smells like shit.
That's
it's like, you know what I mean? Like the whole list can go on and on, but he smells like shit. Oh, well, Couldn't do it.
Yeah, because it also would repel anyone that wants to hang out with us. 'Cause they'd be like, well,
I
we
know.
can't. We're busy
Yeah.
tonight. Sorry.
Yeah. It's like you
But
really have to schedule your meetings with him. Like, okay, I got you from like this 25 minutes is the most I could take. Even then, I'm pushing
yeah,
it. I would say like
yeah,
10, 5.
25 minutes.
Honestly, like the amount of time you want to spend in a porta potty is the amount of time you want to talk to this guy.
Yeah,
Smell so bad, right? So I get it. I totally get it.
yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like,
But
well,
it is the national bird. So
with all of this, knowing how crazy the nature is and how crazy it is even to get to the nature, would you go to Guyana and go venture out into the jungle?
I would love to.
Really?
I would love to see a jaguar. I would love to see a wild Hoatzin. I would love to see a giant armadillo. And I would love to, support Guyana if I could. I'm not quite sure what the geography looks like, but I would love to like start coastal, right?
Yeah.
Get a Caribbean vibe. We'll eat some delicious fresh caught fish
Mm-hmm.
and like, meet with the locals. We'll take a motorized boat up the river. We'll get to see, if we're lucky, the magnificent jaguar, the green
Mm-hmm.
anacondas. Maybe we'll see a harpy eagle. Wouldn't that be insane? Flying over. Or a 6-foot freaking otter. That would be
Oh my
amazing.
God.
We'll see some cock on the rocks. Giant armadillo. Like there used to be
Yeah.
amazing animals to see in their wild and natural habitat. And then we'd make our way up to that mountain where we'd see all those waterfalls. And then
Oh,
we'd climb to the top
the
and
top.
see the whole freaking be on top of the world. How's that sound? Should we book it now?
That sounds
Let's look at
good.
the Airbnbs.
It sounds good, but everything you just said between Georgetown and Mount Roraima sounds terrifying.
I'm not gonna lie. You did say in the beginning of the podcast this was some Indiana Jones country.
Is this like for the real kind of adventurer?
This is for the real adventurer at heart.
I don't know if I have it in me because of a lot of the things you just said. Like you just said anaconda, you just said jaguar, you just said river. Like I'm already out. Like I'm gonna probably hang out in Georgetown. I'm gonna go to the Stroberg Market, which is like the big market there. I'm just gonna eat.
Fun.
I'm gonna go see the turtle, and then I'm gonna fly to Kaieteur Falls or fly to Mount Roraima, and just be one of those tourists and do the short little hike to the mountain. And then I would hike the mountain as long as I don't have to go too much into the jungle.
Definitely the express lane for sure.
Yeah, I would be that tourist. But Guyana, I don't know if I deserve it. I don't know if I'm ready to rough it. I don't know if I'm ready to handle all the wildlife. I don't think I deserve Guyana. Like I think you do. I think you got to have the Indiana Jones at heart.
Are you breaking up with Guyana?
I can love it from afar.
It's not me, Guyana. It's you. I would love to go. I would honestly want to take the boat. I think me and a bunch of mates taking the boat, we would have the story of a lifetime.
Yeah, you would. Okay, so with all the countries we've covered together and like you that are on the podcast, like where does this lie for you for visiting?
We've covered a lot, Marie. There's been a lot of greatness that we've covered in the podcast.
I think Belize is still a top for me though. I love Belize.
Belize was amazing.
I think I could do Belize because I'm like, it's okay. Like there's a town nearby, or there's like, you're going. If you're in Guyana, you're going. You're in it.
You're in the jungle, baby.
This is for the adventurers. So this is a good check yourself if you're listening. Do you think you can handle it? I don't know. Well, okay. Well, to end, what is something, do you want to shout out anything? I know you're doing your acting, music stuff.
Yeah, well, I've been in some, shorts, and I'm very thankful for that. One thing I did want to shout out is that we do have a song dropping in October.
Okay.
Called Money. And
I like it. It's really good.
So once again, band name is Soekotjo, Sokojo, and check us out. We're just releasing a song, could be a music video, lots of exciting stuff.
I will have Kyle's information of his band and all of his music in the show notes. We'll also end the episode with one of his new songs. But wow, I feel like I did not know half of those animals. There's so many animals in this episode I have never heard of. I have heard of the South American river otter because those are fucking terrifying. Don't let them fool you. They'll fuck you up. Y'all should watch some videos on that. They're just, not just the otters, but also, I wish we covered piranhas. Kyle said that he was going to cover piranhas. That's actually really scary too. Another scary thing that lives in the river. Surprised they don't have hippos, honestly. They do have anacondas. I don't know, y'all. Is this country for y'all? Are y'all going to visit it? Are y'all scared? I'm scared now. feel free to message me on Instagram. My Instagram is at Culture Cult Show. If you ever just want to say hi, I will always say hi back. But also, like, I'm curious, like, which one of y'all is like, fuck yeah, I'm coming here. I want to go to Guyana. I want to go through the river and see some crazy fucking animals. And which one of y'all are like me, where you're like, I'm so good. I'll go to Georgetown and eat. I want to know. This is definitely a country not for the faint of heart. This is definitely for the real adventurers out there, like the real explorers left in this world. And I'm not one of them. I'm so sorry. Currently, I'm actually recording this from Australia. I'm recording this in a caravan, at my friend's caravan in Australia. And yeah, I'm having a real time with bugs, I'll say. Yes. And I'm really realizing, wow. Yes. Lots of bugs, lots of animals. So I don't think Guyana would be for me personally. I don't think I'm a jungle girl. I just came back from Bali too. I don't think the jungle is for me. So yeah, Guyana would be quite difficult. I think also it's definitely for the adventurer. I'm definitely going to do an episode on Australia. Oh my God, it's incredible here. Like the fucking beaches are insane. The people are so cool. It's just definitely challenging me in a lot of ways, I think, with the bugs and that'll be its own episode. If you like hearing about my travels, I will definitely record that with my friend Meg. But overall, yes, would love to hear about what you think about Guyana. And just in general, thank you guys for listening. I just feel like y'all can be doing anything, like anything. Y'all be playing basketball or listening to NPR or, even there's so many other podcasts out there. You could be listening to like Joe Rogan or insert any other famous podcast. But y'all still come here year after year, even though I take long breaks. And I just really appreciate y'all. It's just, I see you listening and it just, holy shit, thank you. I love to know that there's other people in this world who are just as curious and they want to know about the world. And I don't want to just settle on just knowing their hometown. So kudos to you. You're the shit. If you love this podcast and if you have like a certain episode you specifically love, I recommend sharing it with one of your best friends. I feel like they trust you. They trust your judgment. And they might like the party too. They might like listening to the show also. Or maybe they want to travel and they can't travel just yet. And this show can inspire them and make them feel like they're traveling a little bit. So yeah, share this with a friend. Share this episode or your favorite episode with a friend. And if you ever want to say hey, just message me on Instagram. It's at Culture Cult Show. And yeah, the next episode we're doing on Guyana is actually the Jim Jonestown Massacre. Yes, we are covering that because it actually happened in Guyana. That's why I'm saving it for last, because I don't want people just to think of the massacre and think of Guyana, because it had literally nothing to do with Guyana. Nothing to do with Guyana, but just happened in Guyana. So I wanted to do these first 3 episodes really about the culture and the food and the animals. And then the last episode will be about the Jim Jonestown Massacre. I'll be doing that with my cousins. Pretty intense episode. So that'll be coming up soon. And yeah, cheers, y'all. I hope y'all enjoy your week and you'll get outside, breathe some fresh air, avoid the bugs like I'm doing right now. And yeah, cheers, y'all. See you next time.
Give me that power. all pretty